In today's video, we're going to be trying to find out what's the best value of a stick vacuum for your home or shop. Now we have 4 popular options here, 2 from Ryobi, we'll get into that in a second. Then we also have the Shark Cordless Pro Pet Plus, as well as the Dyson Cyclone V10 Animal Plus. So we're gonna be checking these things out. We're gonna be looking at a few different things to really compare these side by side. We're gonna be looking at price, accessories that they come with, actual runtime. Obviously it states up to 40 minutes. All of these have an up to. I'm gonna let them run at full power to see what the actual usable time to run is, because I'm personally not gonna be using it in low power very often. I'm sure I'm gonna be always firing it on full power and seeing how long it'll go. And then finally, we're gonna test the cleaning ability. I'll set up a couple different tests and see how they do. So first up, let's go ahead and unbox these and we will talk about pricing and then look at the accessories that they come with. Okay, so here's the Dyson all unboxed. You get the unit itself with a nice quick release little tub empty solution. You just pull this down, the whole thing slides down, opens up, and you can empty out the tank. Internal battery, as well as a charger and wall mount for the system. Then we have the extension lance, so you can actually use it standing up. Let's see here, we have a basic brush tool with a little bit of a pet hair remover on the inside of it. We have an angled tangle screw. Now what that does is this angle, I guess what their whole purpose is that the way they built this out is that it releases hair. That's the biggest problem I have with these stick vacuums is hair gets tangled up in it and then it burns out the motor. So this apparently is an easier way to remove the hair. Same thing here, as you can see, hair removal vanes. Same thing on the bigger headed unit. From there, we have a couple more accessories. We have this little brush tool and again, little pet hair removal tool there, or just lint and things like that. You can push this and slide it up. So if you want to use it brushed, you can. And then you have a basic crevice tool, which is very nice as well. And last but not least, you have this tool here. I think this is just an attachment for if you're using that guy, because if you look at the big head, this is all nice and adjustable, whereas this one is not. But if you plug this in, then you just hit this little latch here, then it adjusts as needed, just like the big one. Now this Dyson V10 Plus came in at a price of normally $499 at my local Costco, but they're currently on sale for $399.99. Now one quick thing to note is just when I pull the trigger, it is not fully charged. There's enough to fire it on, but I want you to hear something. It's nice and quiet, but then at the end it does this weird little boom noise, which is interesting. So here you go. Do you hear that? I don't know what that is. We'll check it again once it's fully powered. One nice feature though is as it's charging, you can see the indicator lights there, kind of bling, 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 and it actually shows on both sides. So I like that a lot. Depending on how you have this thing hung up, you'll always have a visible view of the charging status. Now looking at the components of the Shark Cordless Pet Pro Plus, this is also available at my local Costco, coming in at a price of $279. All right, so here is the head unit itself of the Shark Cordless Pro Pet Plus. It does feature an anti-allergen seal and HEPA filter, and it also has a listed runtime of 40 minutes. Along with that, it does have 3 modes, so and it is sort of a digital display here. So we'll fire it on. So right now it's on Clean Sense, and what Clean Sense is apparently it keeps you in a lower power speed, and then when it senses dirt, it picks up, it ramps up and sucks harder. So then we could change the mode right here. We're in eco mode, and then we're in full power mode, and then Clean Sense. So that Clean Sense, like I said, will just it will fluctuate between eco and full power on its own. Now, as far as the accessories go, no wall holder, but you do get the charger here, but no storage system. But it does have their little flex technology here. You can just push this button, and it flexes like so. So you can keep it as a nice small footprint when you store it. We also have the main head unit here for the brush system, and they actually call this a self-cleaning brush. So similar, for the hair and things like that on the Dyson, but a completely different type of design. It's got like these little fins on it, and then a really dense brush system, which will probably work really, really nicely, especially on like hardwood floors and things like that. So, but we'll test that, see how that works in comparison to the other one. We also have, again, we talked about the extension, and again, you can run it this way. So if you need to get under your sofa or something like that, it's very easy to do so. We have this little tool here, this little brush removal type tool. So that's nice for upholstery and things like that. We also have this little like yeah, dust brush, which is interesting. You can adjust it so this does spin around, so if you want it to face the other way, you can. And that just has these really nice soft bristled brushes all on the side, and then your suction will come through right here. Finally, last but not least, you do have a crevice tool, and you do have a brush option on that. You just push this in and slide it up, so you can have a brushed option as well if you'd like that. Now, one nice feature of the Shark unit is, again, it doesn't come with a wall mount, but the battery is removable. So you can just take that somewhere and charge it that way as needed. So I do like that feature. And as far as the charging indicator goes, it's just that there. It just flashes the little battery button, and you can have it charge on the machine or off. It's still charging. So yeah, just whatever works best for you. Now, next up, we have the first of the Ryobi units, Ryobi or Ryobi, and they actually have quite a few different stick vacs, but I chose these two because these were the higher rated ones. First off, the Ryobi 1 Plus High Performance. This is the PET stick vac. This one retails for $249, and there are a lot of benefits of this one over some of the other ones, so that's why we're starting here. You get twice the suction and longer runtime. You get 99.9% of allergens picked up, 60 minutes of runtime. The previous one was like 30, I believe, so we doubled that. 30% lighter weight and 50% quieter. So really, really great unit here. Let's go ahead and pop it open. This one is, like I said, $249, and let's pop it open and look at the accessories. All right, guys, so here is the unit all laid out. Again, $249 is the full kit version, so you do get a 4 amp hour battery, 18 volt battery, and a charger. So that's very, very nice. Now we do have the head unit itself here. Yeah, different modes that you can go with and the on and off switch. Again, this is also fully removable, which is very nice. I love the fact that you can fully remove that. You don't have to take the whole head of the vacuum to go empty it out. You can just pop this off and go empty it out. So that's a huge plus in my opinion. Obviously we do have the extension as well here. So that's all good. We have the brush unit here, again on a pivoting head, so you're good to go there. Now, again, this one's advertised for pet, and this is more of a typical brush design, except the roller piece does have those waves in it. Again, kind of reminding me of what's going on with that the Dyson unit. So maybe that really does make a difference. I don't know, but cool little design there. And then finally, we do get just one little tool here for like dusting and you know, just smaller stuff. And then we do get a simple, very simple wall mountable unit, so you can stick, you know, if the whole unit's together, you stick this piece in there, snap it in, and you're good to go. Last but not least, guys, I found this on the floor. It does come with a crevice tool as well, so that's great. So I do have to say the two features that I really like about this, the accessories are very, very scaled down, so keep that in mind. And the brush head unit, again, seems the most simple. It's, you know, the most kind of what you're used to seeing. But the two things I really like, the replaceable batteries. I personally have a lot of Ryobi tools. These batteries I can just pop in and out, so and then just, you know, take it away and charge them up for the next time. So I can, whatever the runtime is on this, which they state up to 60 minutes, because I have extra batteries, I can swap them and just keep going. The other thing that I really like is the detachable debris tank. So that, for me, that's really, really cool. I like that a lot. And last but not least, we have the Ryobi. This is their advanced stick vacuum Whisper series. Considerably quieter. This is the full kit coming with the battery and all the accessories, as well as the charger, coming in at a price point of $379. All right, guys, so with that higher price tag, you do get a ton more features with this thing. So right off the bat, let's talk about the brush attachment. And this one does have that anti-hair type system. It's very interesting. You actually get two separate rollers here. So you get one that's similar to like what was on that Shark unit, but then you also get this one that has the blades and sort of that contoured finish like oh my goodness, the Dyson had. So very interesting head unit here. Looks to be super effective, but again, we will see. You also get this little guy here. This is just one of those things you can connect and just kind of shove it down into areas so it spreads out and sucks things up. I don't know. I personally don't use those very much. That's just me, but it's cool that they give it to you. You also do get a little handheld tool, so you can do upholstery and things like that. You do get a accessory holder for your wall. You get the extension, Once again, you get the unit itself, which has some cool features. Now, I haven't even tried this. I'm sure you can. It says pull to empty bin and access filters. So let me see if I can do that real quick. Oh, there we go. Really easy, one-handed operation. And again, you can remove and empty this out without having to take the whole head unit, which I love. It just connects right into there. Just get that seat down, and then you're good to go. Again, also comes with a 4 amp hour battery, but the cool thing about this, you don't get the little charger on this one, but you do get this wall mount kit. And look at this, it has a wall mount charging feature. So you can, if you look on the bottom, this is plugged in, and then right here you have these pieces, and this is the wall mount charger. So it'll hold it into place as well as charge it as it's in storage. So very, very cool. You can run that just with that one battery and just always plug it in. This will be similar to the Shark and the Dyson, or you can still just replace batteries and keep going. So really, really cool design there. Again, we have the different modes. You can increase and decrease your, oh, there you go. But they do advertise this one as, I believe, their most powerful and their quietest option for their stick vacuums. Now it is time to go ahead and test the actual runtime. Now, we're gonna start off with the Dyson machine. Right on the front here, there's actually a toggle switch, right? So there's 1 circle, 2 circles, and then boost. We're gonna run this on boost. Again, because I wanna see how long it'll last at the highest capacity, right? Because that's where the most work's gonna get done, is when you have it on that full power. So we're gonna do that. And then also, I'm gonna get this set up. We're gonna run a timer, see how long it runs, right? But as we're doing that, I'm also gonna test the decibel level. I just have a basic decibel meter on my phone. I'm gonna check it from right here. So it'll be the same position for all of the different machines. Now, when you do a decibel test, decibel meters typically have to be calibrated and all that kind of good stuff. This is not calibrated, this is a simple system on my phone. But what it will tell us is if this one's X and that one's Y, we know which one's louder than the other. So we'll be good to go there. So I'm gonna take a zip tie, I'm gonna put it onto boost, zip tie the trigger down, and just let this thing run. So it's on boost. I'm gonna set a timer here. Okay, we got our timer set up, and here we go. All right, guys, so we've got it all zip tied up. It is currently running. The brush head's moving, all good to go. We're currently at almost 30 seconds. I'm gonna close out of this. We're gonna do the decibel reading. All right, so from right here, it's stating 79 decibels. And it's funny because it actually shows on this little meter, vacuum cleaner. That's where that noise level is typically sitting. So it's not loud. You can hear me talking over it. Not bad at all. Also, it is on full boost. But again, we're gonna let that go. And keep an eye on the timer. All right, guys, so the indicator, I have my little microphone here. The indicator on the side here where I showed you guys where it shows the charge level has dropped from 3 down to 2. We are at 2 minutes, 35 seconds. We're down to 2. We'll see what that means, how long this actually runs. Again, this one I believe said 60-minute runtime. Again, that's probably at the low power speed. I wanna know what it can get at high power, so that's what we're doing. Okay guys, little update. We're 5 minutes and 26 seconds in now. At about 5:15, 5:20, it went down to 1 light. I don't hear any difference in the power section yet, so far it's just full power. Hopefully it stays at that full power rating until it dies, but we'll see. Alrighty guys, there you go. It was at 8:36 when it died. Now, I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with the indicators on there. There's 3. Each one was good for about 2.5 to 3 minutes, somewhere in that range. Again, that was on full boost, right? The highest capability you have on this machine. Just pulled and let it go. The brush was moving, the brush stopped as well. There's no suction anymore, it is dead. Now, as far as the unit goes, back here is a little bit warm, but not bad at all. Not bad, like, at all. Yeah, everything seems good. So, 8 minutes and, I can't remember, I'll review the tape, but 8 minutes and 26 seconds or 36 seconds. 8.5 minutes. All right, guys, now next up is going to be the Shark unit. Now, if you remember well, I talked about it has the Sense IQ, where you can run it on a lower setting, it'll ramp up if it senses dirt, which again, we'll test that down the road. I don't know how functional that really is, but for this test, we're just gonna run it. Remember, it had Eco, it had full power, and then it had Sense IQ. We're gonna run this thing at full power, so it's an equal test between the two. One thing though to note is because it does have that Sense IQ, if that functions properly, that will, I would assume, would dramatically increase the runtime. But for this test, we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna turn it on, and it's nice, it's just a button on this one, so I don't have to worry about zip tying it down. But let's go ahead and get the timer ready, and here we try again. Go. That's on clean IQ, that's Eco, full power. So we're on and running. You can see we're about 10 seconds into it. Let me check the decibel level. So this one's slightly quieter. We're running 77 to 78 decibels. Again, I don't know if that's because it's not, the boost isn't as high as on that one. I don't know, but this is just, again, taking the test results at the highest capacity. So, 77, 78. Almost 1 minute in. All the bars are showing. The brush is rolling, and it is flat to the ground, just like the Dyson was. One nice little feature to note is it does have lights on the front end here. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll try and move the camera down a little bit. Right there are lights on the front, so just a cool little feature. All right, guys, I just walked up to this thing again. I was in my office doing some work as this is running now. It is also showing me an indicator. There was 3 lights lit originally. It's down to 2 now. We're at 8 minutes and 11 seconds though. We still have 2 lights. So runtime seems pretty good on this thing. We're just gonna let it go until it stops. All right, guys, so we're at 13 minutes and 30 seconds. We're on the last bar and it is now flashing. So I'm assuming it's gonna die here pretty quickly. But let's just see what it gets to. Already, we're over 50% longer runtime than the Dyson was with this machine. We just hit 14 minutes. Still going. Again, still flashing, but man, still going. Very, very impressive here. Oh, there we go. So barely over 14 minutes. We're just gonna call it 14 minutes of runtime for the Shark. Incredible, incredible runtime at full power. However, does that matter if it doesn't clean as well? No, not really, right? So we're gonna test that down the road. But so far, just based off runtime, very, very impressive. All right, guys, so very, very impressive runtime at full power for the Shark unit. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is gonna be the Ryobi. This is the cheaper option between the two that we have here. I think there's actually an option where you can have the brushes going or not going. And for this test, because those ones were going, we want these going as well. So I'm gonna hook up or set up the timer. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on and then get it to functioning full power, but we're gonna start the timer as soon as I turn it on. So here we go. All right, so just 2 power settings, and you can see on the front end here, it changes color between green and white. Green is the full power. All right, and you can turn the brush mode off, but we're leaving it on. It fires on automatically as you start the machine, so good to go there. We're at 30 seconds so far. Let me go ahead and do the decibel test. Pretty much the same as the Shark. It's bouncing between 76 to 78, so. Well, from up here, it's actually quieter. Yeah, average 75, so a little bit quieter. All right, we're 1 minute and 10 seconds in. Gonna plop that up there. We're gonna let this thing run. Now, as far as indicators go, if you push the button on the battery, it will light up. There's 4 indicator lights. We are already down to 3. Doesn't mean anything. It could just be that that first one goes quickly, the rest of them last longer. So again, minute 30 in, we're gonna let it run. All right, guys, so we're currently at 9 minutes, still going strong. Let me check the indicators up top. We're on to 1 light indicator and it is flashing, so we're probably pretty close to the end here. Let's see what we get to for the final stage, but over 9 minutes already. That's already better than the, my goodness, Dyson was. I don't know why I can't remember that name. Better than the Dyson on runtime currently. but it looks like we're probably almost done, so the Shark is still significantly longer runtime. All right, guys, quick update, and I'm absolutely blown away. Again, I think we're at 9:30, and it was on one light indicated still. We are now at 13 minutes and 30 seconds. We're still going. So it's up there with the Shark now. This is crazy. Again, highest power that it has available and the brush going at the same time. So it's really using as much power as it can. Coming up on 14 minutes here. I'll update you guys once it finally shuts off. All right, guys, we're coming up on 16 minutes and 25 seconds right now. Still going. Also, another indicator on this thing, it does have an LED light on the front as well. If you're vacuuming in a darker area under a couch or something like that, it'll give you some visibility. Like the Shark had, the Dyson did not have that. Okay, we're almost 17 minutes. I'm starting to hear the power drop a little bit now. It sounds like it's kind of wavering. I bet we're at the end of the line here. Still going, but you can kind of hear it. There you go. 17 minutes and like 3 seconds. Easily doubling the time of the Dyson. Incredible. All right, now last but not least is the Whisper series from Ryobi. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and fire it on and start the test. We're going to put it all the way up to full power, leave the brush on like we talked about before. Here we go. That's full power. Brushes are going. Yep, brushes are going. Full power. 10 seconds in. Guys, very, very quiet machine here. Let me go ahead and do the decibel reading. Right here, we're averaging 75, which is quieter than the others. We'll come out close. Averaging out, average numbers on the side here, 71 decibels. Maybe even 70, but right around there, 70 to 71. Definitely quieter than the other machines. I will say it doesn't sound like it's sucking as much. It doesn't sound as powerful as other ones, but that may just be because of the Whisper technology. Noise doesn't always translate into power, so that may be what's going on here. Now again, this one has 2 different brushes, 2 different rollers going at the same time. So we'll see how this stacks up when we talk about the runtime. Currently 1 minute and 12 seconds. I'll update you guys in a bit. Guys, as you can see, we are at 9 minutes, 45 seconds. All 3 of these are flashing red. Sounds like it's starting to power down. There you go, 9 minutes, 50 seconds is what we got to. So 9 minutes, 50 seconds runtime for this thing. Not as good as the other Ryobi or the Shark, better than the Dyson. But again, for me personally, runtime with these batteries that are so interchangeable isn't nearly as much of a problem in my opinion. And anything over 8 minutes I think is pretty good anyway, but if you have a large job to do, you can just swap out your battery and keep on going with this unit. So that doesn't bother me. Let's get into more of the testing now on the effectiveness and all that good stuff of these things. All right, so the testing now continues. I just took a whole bunch of bird seed. The bird seed is a good representation. The one I got, I think, is a good representation of dirt, grime, and food debris, right? Stuff that could be in your kitchen or wherever else throughout your house. Spread out 1 full cup in a line on 4 different lines so we can run each vacuum appropriately. Additionally, I'm gonna rub this stuff in as well. But additionally, I went to my local Joann's Fabrics, and they had this doll hair. And again, guys, we wanna test that, right? Now, this is pretty clumped together. This is probably gonna be a pretty hard test for these vacuums. But I wanted to see you know, if there's a certain design that helps to push it away more than the others. So I got that straight hair, and then I also got curly doll hair options as well. So again, I'm just gonna go ahead and rub these in, and then we'll get to testing. There's one other thing that I wanna note on before we test, so we'll get to that in 1 second after I rub this stuff in. All right, guys, so here is the setup. As you can see, the bird seed is laid down. We've got the hairs all intertwined into it. I mean, even you pick it up and there's stuff sticking to the hair. So again, I think this is a pretty fair test. A little bit rough, I think, for these things, but we'll see which one performs the best. I'm really, really hoping that they all perform very well because I just dropped a whole bunch of birdseed on the carpets in my shop, and if it doesn't come up, that's a bit of a bummer. So fingers crossed here that this all works out nicely. Now, as I said, there's one other thing that I wanted to touch on really quickly, and that is the distance on the roller to the side of the unit. So as you can see on the Dyson, very, very minimal distance there. Why is that important? Well, if you're, vacuuming it up against the wall, that makes a difference, right? You don't want to leave a big gap of debris where you weren't able to get this over the unit. So really nice short pile or short distance from both sides for the Dyson. Moving on to the Shark. Oh, also freestanding ability of the Dyson is non-existent. There's too much pivot point. It will not stand on its own. Next one up is the Shark. Now the Shark, one side of it, actually it's both a pretty big gap, substantially more than on the Dyson. Seems like this side, no, they're both the same. So decent amount of gap here, probably about an inch and a half. No, I'd say an inch on both sides, whereas the Dyson was a lot less than that. Freestanding ability of this one, it wants to, but then it leans back. Other than that though, it will stay up by itself, but it will fall backwards. Moving on to the Ryobi, as you can see right now, freestanding, no problem. I don't have the battery in it, but it still freestands with the battery in it. When we talk about the distance between the sides, pretty minimal here. I would say more so on this side than on this side. This side's a little bit thinner, but overall not bad. I would say between the Shark and the Dyson, the Dyson's by far the least amount there. And last but not least, let's go ahead and review the other Ryobi unit. And I know some people may be watching this saying it's Ryobi. Maybe it is, I don't know. I say Ryobi though. So this one, the gap on this side is much bigger than the gap on this side. So again, with the Ryobi, it just seems, one side's a little bit different than the other. This side is very, very thin, like the Dyson. This side is about the distance of the other one, about, I don't know, half inch. No, we're gonna call it an inch. It's substantial enough. So, but again, if you're just vacuuming in this direction, then you're not gonna have much gap there. So kind of an in-between there. Okay, so all the units are fully charged. Once again, we're gonna be using them at full power, right? We're gonna go, full power with the brushes going. I'm gonna take 10 passes with each one. I'll zoom you guys in on each pass to see which one, looks the best after 10 passes. Again, run time on the Dyson was the shortest out of all of them, but if it has more lifting power, if it's using more juice to do a better cleaning job, runtime, then it's a fair thing because it's using more power. But anyways, let's go ahead and start off with number one, the Dyson. Again, guys, sorry, I know I'm jumping around a little bit. The other important thing to note is all three of these units are push button start and then you can adjust. The Dyson is a trigger mechanism, so if you want to be vacuuming, you have to be pulling the trigger. Just a little note, a little side of differentiation between those ones now. All right, guys, first up is the Dyson. We're on full power. Let me get this thing ready. We're gonna do 10 passes and see what's left. One. That's two. That's three. That's four. That's five. We're gonna pause this because maybe this wasn't a fair test. I don't know. But it is completely jammed up the brush attachment. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna throw it to the side. It seems to be spinning again. As you can see, the hair is stuck in the middle. And starting to go to the side. I don't know. That was 5 passes. Let's keep on going. Number 6. Working much, much better without all that hair there. Okay. Number 7. Uh-oh. We don't want to suck that in. We'll leave that for the next one. Okay, 7. Well, guys, just so you know, we are not moving again. So this thing is jammed up from this hair. Let me see here. I don't know what the purpose is of this. They say anti-hair. And again, to be fair, maybe this is way too much. I don't know. But it seems like it gets stuck just like any other roller would. So I don't know. What are we at? 8? I don't know. Let's do 2 more and then we'll call it for this one. Yeah, the still stuck. It spins freely here. Let me try and rip this stuff out and see if we can get a fair representation now, because we see this isn't the most ideal for hair. In my opinion, I mean, it just seems like it's just doing like it always would, even without this anti-hair, anti-tangle deal. So I don't know. It's one of those things, they advertise that stuff, and it sounds great. I would love for it to work really well for that, but it doesn't seem to be functioning the way you would want it to. 2 more passes and we'll be done. All right, so there is that one. Let me grab my phone and zoom you guys in on that spot. Overall, it did a fantastic job. I mean, there's a little bit of leftover because there's a lot of debris in that. But overall, looking really, really good. I'm happy with that. Don't have a bunch of birdseed on my floor anymore. So we're gonna move this hair back over onto this side because it did try to suck that up. And now we're gonna move on to testing the Shark unit. Again, 10 passes. I'm gonna fire it on, turn it on to high. Right now it's on that sense, clean sense. We're gonna change it. There's eco. Now we're on high. Here we go, 10 passes. One, 2, 3. Man, this thing's doing way better. 4, 5. I mean, we're pretty much good, except for some little leftover stuff that kind of went everywhere from the last test with the Dyson, but we're good. I'm very happy with that. Really quickly, let's go ahead and try the Clean Sense ID system. Again, guys, that's where it's gonna run at a lower RPM, and when it senses dirt, it's gonna fire up higher. So, okay, there. I'm gonna go over stuff. You can hear it ramp up. That actually seems to be functioning the way it's supposed to. Again, Clean Sense running at a nice low RPM right now. Gonna go over some stuff. You can hear it ramp up as it needs to. Still going. Let it sit for a second and see if it calms down. Starting to come down. Interesting. It's kind of a cool feature. All right, guys, so when we're talking that Dyson versus the Shark, I have to say the Shark had no issue with that hair. It's stuck in there. Let's go ahead and look at that. So it is in here, right? But it did not have an issue. It did not stop the brush from spinning at all. And now I'm sure it can, right? But maybe that's what the fins are for. It just kind of keeps it from compressing all the way down so that it continues to work. I don't know. But overall, let's see how easy it is to pull out. I'm not going to go into disassembling these things and cleaning the brushes, but just want to see how easy it is from here to be able to pull this stuff out. And if I had a knife or scissors just to cut this, which I do here, we'll just go under the fin here, go under there, clip it. Clip a little bit more. There you go. There you go. Pulls right out. So overall, I did not think that this brush head was going to work that well in comparison with the hair, but you saw the test results. It did not bog down. And again, I want to be very, very clear about something. The fact that the Dyson bogged down may just be the way it ran over the hair. I don't know that, and I can't test it a million times to see that. But I just want to share my results with you guys here so you can see side by side how they're working. Really quickly, guys, just want to show you, I did lose quite a bit of stuff. It may just be that the container's pretty full, but as you can see, yeah, it might just be that the container's too full, and we're just leaving some in the extension itself. But let's just see. I'm gonna fire this thing back on, suck this back up. You can hear that sense, clean sense IQ thing firing up higher. So good to go there. Turn it off. And much better. No issue there with it falling out. Let's see with the Dyson, did it do that? No, the Dyson did a good job of sucking it all up and holding it. Okay, test number 3, the cheaper of the 2 Ryobi units. Again, I'm gonna fire this up to full power, 10 passes with the brush rolling. Here we go. Wow. It's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7, and we're pretty much good to go. 8. Let's do a little cleanup over here. 9 and 10. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. We're gonna see if it drops anything. Nope, good to go there. As you guys saw, again, no issue with the hair. It's keeping it to the center, at least right now. I don't know, over time if that'll work which way to the sides. Again, it is stuck in there, but let's go ahead and take a pair of scissors and cut this out. And that is one of the things actually that I'm seeing here now. Those grooves in the roller allow you to get under with a pair of scissors and be able to pull it out, or actually get under and cut it, and then you're able to remove it. So not bad. I don't know if you guys could see on camera very well, but the speed at which this brush was rolling and the way the brushes are, it is harder to get the hair out for sure, just because it's getting caught up in those brushes. And it was kind of spitting out some of the debris, right? It was just moving too fast. It was kind of kicking it out. It picked it all up in the 10 passes, no problem, but just something to note. All right, and now last but not least, the more expensive Ryobi unit. This is the one that has the dual brush style. So again, 10 passes, let's see what this does. Full power, let me go and fire it on. It comes on at 2 bars. We want to put it to 3. All the way up. The rollers are going. Here we go. One. 2. 3. 4, just some stragglers left behind. 5, 6, oh, we're losing a little bit. This is 7, 8, and we're good to go, guys. That's it. So, let me fire this off. See if we lose anything. Nope, good to go. Let's look at this, because this is the one that was kind of a mixture. Yeah, again, this first piece is very similar to what is on the Shark, just really plush. The second piece is all fins. So again, it keeps it up off of the surface so that you can cut it out. So let's do that. To be honest, with these anti-hair things, I was hoping that this wouldn't even happen at all. But the fact that you are able to clean it out so easily is still a plus for sure. Okay, now this one on the other hand isn't as easy to get this stuff out. So this nice plush one here, if you remember well on the Shark, it's plush, but then it does have those fins. This one does not have the fins at all, so you are going to have to kind of come in. It's still not bad. You can get under it quite easily. Okay, yeah, it's really easy actually. Because it's so plush, you're able to get under it without an issue. So there we go. Pretty much everything's out, good to go. And this thing did a fantastic job. So there you have it. Those are the test results of just, back and forth general cleaning on low pile carpet. Now I don't have high pile carpet here. I can't do that test. I don't think there's any need to do it on hardwood because this is close enough with a low enough pile. I think it'll be easier on hardwood just because it's not gonna have to fight pulling anything out of the carpet. So those are the 4. So for me personally, I would have to say the more expensive Ryobi version is the winner. It cleaned up very, very quickly. It was very quiet. Not the longest run time, but it did have the ability to change out batteries so you can keep going if you need to. Second place for me is absolutely gonna be the Shark unit. I was actually surprised by how well that worked with the hair, especially after the Dyson. It did a fantastic job there. The runtime on that thing is fantastic as well. The only downside to that one was that we did lose some after we stopped vacuuming, right? It fell out of the extension. Again, that may just be because we filled up the tank. But overall, I'm very, very happy with that one. Runtime and suction power and dealing with the hair. Number 3 for me, guys, is going to be a surprise here, and I'm gonna go Ryobi again. Putting the Dyson, for me, again, personally here, I don't want, a Dyson makes a fantastic machine. It's just doing a side by side, especially with that hair, the Dyson's for sure my last choice. But so we're going to the Ryobi for 3rd place. The brushes are a little bit stiff, maybe, where it kind of flung some stuff around, but overall did a really good job. Has an insane amount of runtime. And then plus you have the option to be able to swap out batteries and keep going. And then last place for me in this test, I hope no one's upset about that, is the Dyson. It just didn't handle the hair at all. It froze up the brush head, didn't allow it to move anymore. So that one's gotta be last place for me personally. So anyways, I hope that video helps you. Again, I didn't go into all the accessories and testing those. I think this is the majority of what people are gonna be using them for is normal stick vac. So keep that in mind. Again, the Ryobi, the more expensive Ryobi, really surprised me. Did a fantastic, fantastic job. It was also the quietest out of all of them. So great units. I think any of them you can't really go wrong with. The fact that the Dyson did the worst in this test and is the most expensive, I would probably just, if your conditions are similar to this, that's not the one I would go with. But that's it for today's video. I hope that video helps you. Please make sure to like the video, make sure you're subscribed, turn on that notification bell, and we will see you on the next one.